everybody. Welcome to Fun Speculation Podcast. This is FSP episode number 133. Today is March the 24th. Or not March the 24th. I'm a month ahead. Sorry. February. I'm already thinking about March. I'm ready for it to be March. Get these winter months over with. Last week was ridiculously cold here. Luckily, it's getting back to normal weather here. Today was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's hot as shit today. It's like 68 or something.
Oh, see, I was 60. It was 67 here. To me, it's like with the breeze, 67 with the breeze, and just a light breeze. I was like, man, this is like perfection. If like every day could be that, would be absolutely perfect.
I think it's just because it's swung from like 10 degrees to like 60 like within a day. Like we had 7 inches of snow Friday, and then yesterday was 60 degrees. So it's like, bruh.
Yeah.
So it just feels so hot.
But last night it got really cold. Like we had it got down to like 35 or 36 last night, which was usually we don't have that big of swings, for if it's warm, it doesn't get ridiculously cold and then warm again. But it did. So cool. Anyway, back to intros and stuff. Yeah, this is last week. We had a little bit off. Actually, the last 2 weeks actually had to cancel shows and stuff. So I was under the weather Friday, so wasn't able to have XUP. And last week I don't think we had FSP or XUP.
Wait, did you say SUP?
X.
Oh, XUP.
X. Yeah, XUP.
I'm like,
Xbox Ultimate. Yeah. So we're back to hopefully regularly scheduled programming here on Fun Speculation, as gaming news is also going to start ramping up again, hopefully here soon. I think there's going to be some more stuff coming up shortly over the next few weeks, but super glad to be joined by my fam here and all the awesome people in the chat, and shout out to these awesome individuals that I saw earlier on Boom's show. I made a very, very short appearance right at the end of Boom's stream this morning when he was covering ID at Xbox.
Yeah, the post credits.
Yeah,
Marvel
post credits, just cameo. Yeah, exactly. But I saw you there, 3-Bit. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. That was fun. I it's been a while since I've been on Boom's show. But I thought I would sneak out of work for a little bit and just pop up and react to the ID at Xbox show. So that was really fun to be on there with you and Fuzzy and Boom, of course. It was a cool show. It had like little surprises in there. We'll talk about it, I guess, in the show a little bit. But glad to be here.
Yeah, good to see you there. That was the if you go back to podcasting lore, that was the first show you ever appeared on, was a Boom show.
Yeah.
So
I was I just asked them on Twitter, and I had like 1 follower, and I was just like, hey, can I be on your show?
I'm a game dev.
Yeah, I'm a dev. Like, let me on. And he let me on. I just made a Twitter account at that time, and Boom was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And that's why I always give Boom props. Like the fact that he let me on when I had like nothing or no really followers, whatever. I mean, I had the industry experience stuff, but like no podcasting experience, and that was really cool of him. And then eventually I became a Xbox Factor member for a while, and then Mav bought the exclusive rights to me. Yeah,
it cost $2.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap. So
thanks for that. Best deal I've ever made, man. And also to Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzz? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here with you guys. Yeah, this afternoon, I guess you would say, was a decent amount of fun. Although IGN, man, I don't know, those cats over there. I guess if we talk about them too much, they'll attack Jasper about being a conspiracy theorist again. But they put Miles Morales in I guess a hype trailer kind of thing, and no Miles Morales to show. But
yeah,
I don't know. There was some good games there, though.
It's still weird, like a thing for them to put that in that. I don't get it. But yeah, well, we'll get into
IGN being IGN.
We'll get into IGN and the whole FanFest thing, and I need Xbox for sure on the show. Oh, and returning again, making an appearance, who is here before work today, because I guess there's important space shit that happens at night. Jasper, what's up, man?
24/7 job. No, I've been doing good. I got a VR headset, so I've been playing some like boxing stuff in VR. And then the Batman game. Been doing that. I played Avowed.
Which VR did you get?
MetaQuest 3.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, so I've been playing that one. Tried Avowed, not like super. It doesn't like have its hooks in me yet. I've only got like an hour or so into it. I need to jump back into that. But I will say I did predict the Metacritic score last time I was on, so I got that right.
You said it's like an 80, right?
Yeah, I said like 78 to like 81 or something like that.
Okay. Give yourself a little.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Did I say anything?
I said 92. I was way off. Not that it's not deserving of a super high score, though. You know what I mean? But like, you can't win them all, I guess. But that's where we're at. I've also been playing more of Avowed. I still love that game. I'm in the second area now, the Emerald Trails, I think, or what? Emerald Stairs, or I can't remember what it's called. Anyway.
Oh, and the other game, Delta Force Black Hawk Down. It's been trying that out. It's really hard because you can solo the missions, but that's like super hard because it's designed as a co-op game. But it's kind of like the Battlefield 3 co-op missions where you just like kind of randomly queue into a random mission, and people suck ass at this game, so it's just like a pain to finish the missions. But it's like it's pretty much Black Hawk Down, the movie, the game, like because they took like even some scenes from the movie and like digitalized some of the characters from the movie and put them in the game.
Yeah, I'm curious. I saw a lot of praise for people trying the single player out on Twitter. I saw some weird takes. Somebody was like, "Why do they even need to add multiplayer to this?" I'm like, "Well, the multiplayer people have been loving." So yeah. I would say that it's probably, for most gamers that are going to end up playing that game, the campaign will end up being the extra thing for them, right? But it does seem different, and it seems really cool. Some of the footage that I've seen of the campaign so far,
and it's free.
Yeah, which is awesome. Free campaign.
Oh, it's free. Oh, you should have led with that. Okay.
Yeah, we love free shit here, or us welfare gamers, right? As people like to call Game Pass subscribers and stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a show today. There was ID at Xbox, which I honestly had forgotten it was coming up until last night. I had remembered after getting some DMs about it and stuff. And well, they had the show. IGN put it on because for some reason Xbox feels like they still need to go to IGN to partnership on things and stuff occasionally. Either like they'll do the occasional, hey, this is going to be hosted by Twitch, which those have always been horrible. Or this is going to be hosted by IGN, which those are also usually horrible. Not for the games that are shown, just the way that they produce the shows. A lot of a self-promotion aspect to it, right? I understand, like in the Keeley shows, watching a Keeley show, hey, advertisers pay the bills and stuff. You know what I mean? But those are like other companies. Those are like other companies that are like paying to sponsor. But IGN's like, no, we're going to interrupt this Xbox broadcast to try and sell you some shit, some t-shirts. We're going to tell you about our wiki guides, get you to sign up for that. We're going to tell you we're selling IGN. It'd be like if I stopped this podcast in the middle like 4 times and was like, hey, everybody, just wanted to tell you about Fourth Wall, the shop that we can get fun speculation merchandise, or like, and like get that for as long as the trailers go, right? Or like, hey, I just want to take a minute, just stop right here. Why did that fucking sound like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Anyway, let's just take a minute, stop right there. I want to tell you about how I became Mav from Fun Speculation. Anyway, so let's just stop right here and let's talk about how you can join our Discord, and let's talk about it, like, all that kind of stuff. Like Show the games. Make it about the games, please, right? So that's kind of comes with the territory. So that aspect of it kind of sucked, and especially towards the end of it, because there was like 2 ad breaks where they had showing the same shit in between like 2 trailers. It just doesn't make any damn sense. However, there was some cool stuff there. So I didn't have a chance to hear all of y'all's thoughts this morning, guys, but I'll start with 3-bit. Overall, did you have some games that stood out for you at the ID at Xbox?
Yeah, there was like a couple like I thought Hotel Barcelona was pretty cool. It was like this super unique 2D fighter that looks pretty cool. And then there was Patapon, I think it was called, which was like the rhythm-based fighter when me and Fuzzy and Boom was just watching it. For a moment, if you watch our live reaction, we're just like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Because it's it's very interesting. It has like a card-based system for, I guess, like before you enter a battle, it looks like. And then like it'll be like have buff damage, and I didn't read all the different cards, but it looks like you choose like a card system and then you go into a battle and it's rhythm based, but it's also kind of like uh turn based. I just haven't seen anything like that before. So that really interested me. There was this one game where it was like a Russian roulette game where we were also like, what the heck? That just seems like one of those games that's probably gonna go viral. Like people just try it out. It's basically Russian roulette, but it seems like maybe a multiplayer
That game
type
looks
game.
fucking twisted, bro.
Yeah, it
Like I was,
really did.
and not ever am I like, I'm like, hey, I'm all for whatever in games and stuff, and I'm like, that one, I was like, that's in Game Pass, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah, I was
that one
surprised that was in
is
Game Pass.
like,
Yeah.
but regardless of just the concept of that game, I'm like, that's pretty fucking like crazy. Like one of the guys just takes a fucking buckshot and like bang, like takes his own head off, and then
Yeah.
he's like, hey, whoever it spins, is it gonna kill you or not? Like it's like, whoa. Like anytime
Yeah.
you see like a Russian roulette type scene in a movie, it's always that like crazy tense feeling of like, is what's
Is it
gonna
gonna
happen?
be me?
You know, it's a thing that they do a lot. Spin the
I think it's the
revolver
way
and
they
stuff.
did
You know,
it because they have like this style that's kind of darker. It has like I forgot what it's called. It's like multi-toned shading in there and stuff. So like it has this eerie, almost creepy style. So on top of that, yeah, you're also shooting someone with a shotgun. So it's just interesting themes there. So in terms of the games, I thought it was cool. Like Balatro, now I'm finally gonna give it a shot. Now that it's on Game Pass, it was always that game. I was always kind of on the edge. Of like, oh, I'll try it, I guess. But I don't know. There's so many games right now, and now I have like no excuse. So, and I'm sure like a lot of people were like me, where maybe they tried it for a little bit. They're like, yeah, I don't know. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm excited about that. That's probably the highlight of that show, in my opinion. They did have like really cool, unique things. What ruined the show for me, and I'm able to sort of do this with like the PlayStation showcases too. What ruined the show for me is the presentation was pretty bad. Like you had game, and then all of a sudden these long ad breaks of IGN trying to showcase their coasters, their Vader hot sauces, which I'm not gonna lie, that I was like, actually that's kind of cool. I like Vader and hot sauce. So, but besides that, it was constantly just breaking the flow of the show. So it's like it starts to get going, and then these long IGN sort of ads, which is just kind of annoying. Because you would think that at least some of these ads could be related to Xbox, but no, it's just it's this IGN wiki, buy our IGN Plus membership to get. It was just kind of annoying, honestly. So that really downed it for me. Some people could take that out and just be like, here are the games, but that's why sometimes I have two separate ratings. I'll be like, the game shown of what appealed to me as a gamer. I could vibe with quite a few of those games. Team 17 had a game. I love Team 17. They did Overcooked. I love indie games and stuff, and games. There was one game that was like giving me Coffee Talk vibes, and I love Coffee Talk. So separating it, like if I were just to be like, here are the games, there were games for me, and that always raises the score. Presentation wise, it was pretty bad. So if I was just rating it with both in mind, it was like a 4 for me personally, 4 out of 10. If it was just judging the games and stuff that was shown, it's like a 6 or a 7. That's just honestly what it was for me. I don't like IGN, and that also ruins it even further. Not a fan of IGN. I don't like them. I don't like how they treat people. I don't like how they deal with Xbox. I mean, they had a whole thread with Jasper here. Like it's just there's too much. There's too much to go. We have a long history with IGN as well. Like I've had my back and forth with Destin.
Especially Jasper.
So, yeah, especially Jasper, right? So overall, I thought the show was great. With the games in mind, in terms of the presentation, I thought that was awful. It was like a 4. So if you can separate that, then it's probably a good show for you in terms of the games. Some cool announcements, cool indie announcements. The show overall, though, I if I was Xbox, I wouldn't do this again because there just seems to be little benefit. I get that Tina Amini might have some connections to IGN, which is probably why they did this. They're like, hey, let's just do something cool. You whenever you're doing these partnerships, like I kind of get why they do it, is just to expand to an audience that's not theirs. Like whenever you're Xbox and you are promoting your show, you're kind of thinking you're limiting your demographic, but in my eyes, not only did not a lot of people tune into that show anyways, it's like when people check out other content outside of that show, it's nothing but negative news about Xbox. So it's like, is it really worth it? Like you have your presentation of ID at Xbox, and then like, okay, cool. What else do they have about Xbox? And it's just nothing but like, is Xbox gonna die? Like, what is the future? Meanwhile, on PlayStation is like, oh, look how amazing PlayStation is. It's just so blatant that it's. If I was Xbox, I wouldn't do it, but maybe they're seeing an advantage that I'm not seeing. So yeah,
maybe
I don't
they're
know.
a little misguided in thinking they're getting an advantage with that one.
Maybe.
I understand
Yeah,
the
but
thinking
those are my
too,
thoughts.
but it's I don't know if it pays off. But you, Fuzz, what do you think?
Well, I'll start off kind of because I took it as the same thing with the like a dual score type of deal, but I didn't focus as much on the scoring for the show because of IGN. I just had my little rant about them, but it was a 7 for the games. Some solid games in there. One that I wasn't interested in on the initial showing, and then I watched the stream of it on Twitch later, which actually it looks a lot better than what I thought it did through like the little quick clip that they showed, and that was for Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. It's basically like a I guess you could say Fall Guys in a way, but side scroll on bikes and different waves that you can set up traps or bonuses, and they can either help or hurt other players or yourself and things like that. So that game kind of stood out. The one you guys talked about earlier, the shotgun one, that one stood out the most because not that I ever want to ever play Russian roulette or come close to remotely trying something along those lines, but it just looked like an interesting game where it did have like that haunted house or scary vibe to it, but you're using shotguns instead of normal revolvers, which I can't imagine what that's going to be like as far as blowing away the other characters or accidentally blowing yourself away. Um, I was really looking forward to a release date for Immortals or 33 Immortals, which we got. It's going to be like an early access in Game Pass, so looking forward to when that is available. It is a lot harder than it sounds, so we're going to need people, if you're going to be part of the 33 or try to find a group of 33, we're going to need healers because there's going to be people that can, do the damage and then they're down in 2 hits from the enemy, or the floor is on fire and they instantly melted. So yeah, we're going to don't overlook a healer build because that will definitely come in handy. But there was a couple other games like what was it, that Rat-Tatan, I think it was,
Yeah,
the one
Rhythm
that
game.
3-Bit was just talking about, where it's like, what's going on? It's playing this weird music and this crab is shooting missiles at these like little caviar things with feet or whatever walking around. And I guess the more music you play, the more of them you have. And I don't know. It looks strange, but hey, I'm willing to give it a try. There was a couple other ones that were pretty cool, but onto the IGN thing. And I don't want to harp too much on how bad of a presentation it was, because it wasn't up to par of what we see for the dev directs. Now I know overall the ID at Xbox is not geared to be that, but I think the production value from a dev direct would suit that just as well. And I hope they consider that for future. But the big thing that was a standout for me, and it's like the old marketing hat, like if you're going to do this type of partnership, get every dollar you can value out of it. And it's fine. IGN wants to do commercials. Okay. Riddle me this. If you're going to do a commercial on an Xbox related showcase, those commercials should in some cases be Xbox related or
Yeah.
somewhat centered, or at least I would think. So when you talk about the guides, sure, Elden Ring is a popular game. Sure, was it Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom is a popular game. I forget what the other one was. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3, also a popular game. But you know what's also popular with people doing searches for guides? Avowed. That would be one you would want to highlight since you have a whole page dedicated as a hub for that. It's a standout on your site. Why not focus on talking about Avowed? Because it's an Xbox showcase. Or Starfield, because that's the one that they wanted to broadcast on, social media 18 times that it was a 7. But also, hey, look at our guides on how to build or have the ultimate loadout and where to find these named weapons and all this stuff. If you're going to crap on Xbox, at least show the stuff that you're, hungry for as far as getting, advertising dollars by people visiting those guide pages. Why not talk about the Avowed page? Why not talk about Starfield's page as far as those guides? That to me would make sense. Not to say that Xbox should be standing over them saying you need to do it this way, but you would think that would be at least a courtesy or some sort. And the whole deal with the Miles Morales and that promo video that they did prior to the event, it screams incompetence. And the reason why I say that is they're the same ones that say, oh, we're human, we made a mistake, when Jasper was able to point out how they forgot to put the tags for Xbox, especially on games that were coming to Game Pass day and date. Like, oh, we magically forgot it was coming to Xbox. We didn't, we had no idea. And then they did it again on a later, sizzle reel of things along those lines. But they want to fire back and say, oh, you guys are just a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Well, okay, if you're doing a sizzle reel for ID at Xbox, which you show the logo, why the heck are you showing Miles Morales if it's not going to be in the show or involved in the show in any way? Like, if that's the case, just make your own sizzle reel that works for everything. And then you maybe put a flash screen, oh, ID at Xbox. So at least that way, there's no anticipation that maybe this is a lead up to it. Because they had a few clips from, was it 33 Immortals mixed in there as well. And there was another game that was in there that was actually at the showcase. So why would you, was it an intern that did it? Is that going to be the excuse, or is it that you're just that stupid at IGN that you did this, or maybe you did it intentionally so that way there would be that conversation about it? I don't know. It just feels like they are probably the worst partner. Yes, there's a lot of exposure that IGN can bring because a lot of eyes are on IGN. They're the de facto news source for the casual gamer. Great. But if it's going to be more of a hindrance where you're still disrespected even on your own showcase with this partner, then you probably should move on. There's better options out there. There's better options in your own house. Sure, it might be a cheaper alternative to let them kind of do the heavy lifting as opposed to Tina Amini and her team. But I would say the mileage that you're going to get from what Tina Amini might do versus IGN themselves, I think it would go a lot further for what you're trying to promote for these indie games. But I don't know. To me, the games were the stars of the show. Those two knuckleheads that they keep bringing back, they're not funny. Maybe a younger crowd gets it. I don't know. I'd rather see games than people that if there was a hot mic situation, they'd be like, oh, this sucks. Why are we even doing the showcase? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was their feeling, because you could see that they weren't actually enthused about the games. They were more enthused that, hey, we get to do a show and we're probably going to get paid for this kind of thing. And that was as far as it went. It didn't feel like they were interested in any of the games that were actually shown there. But maybe that's me reading the room wrong. I don't know. I usually pick up on certain things, and it felt like they didn't feel like they should be doing this show. But
Yeah.
hey, that's just me.
Well, I mean, it's hard to just keep harping on it just because it is what it is. None of us really like IGN. You know what I mean? And we always think they do a shitty job at almost everything they do. So of course they're gonna do a shitty job at this too. Jasper, did you have a chance to see any of the ID at Xbox?
I did not watch the show, but I just like while everyone was talking, I was kind of reviewing some of the games that were announced, and the one that stood out was Jump Ship, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
It kind of
that
has
was
like
cool.
a
that one-
Helldivers aesthetic, but it's like, you're on a ship and
yeah, I
it's-
think I saw someone today say it was like kind of like Sea of Thieves co-op or something like that. I don't know. So that seems interesting. And then I didn't see the game that Fuzzy mentioned, the sheep raccoon thing, but there was like I looked it up, and there was a game I played back in the day called Ultimate Chicken Horse, which is the same thing. So it's like a sequel to it. So that's fun. And then about the overall show and everyone hating IGN, I personally never really watched the ID at Xbox shows because they're always kind of ass. Even like because last year they were sponsored by Twitch or whatever, so it was like a Twitch deal.
Oh,
that
that
did
was
it. So,
that
like,
was bad too. Yeah,
so
I
like
forgot about that.
I never really kind of count the ID at Xbox shows as like a showcase or anything, just because they're always kind of garbage. So that's where I'll leave that. So I don't have any opinions because I didn't watch it today. So
yeah, I think they've done some before where they've done them themselves and they just kind of put it up as like a
Yeah.
video, and those are usually the best because it's kind of just like, oh, hey, this is what it is, and here's the games, but whenever it's like promoted as like this thing that IGN's doing or like Twitch, those are the ones that are just always the hardest to watch. As far as like, I'm just being there to enjoy the games. There's always something that kind of takes you out of it. Not to say that ID at Xbox games always has huge announcements or anything like that, right? They have third-party shows that they do sometimes too, and sometimes they have surprise announcements. But overall, it's just like all right, as far as what the games were. For me, the coolest announcement was Balatro being announced to Game Pass because
is that on
I
PC
love
Game
that.
Pass as well?
I don't know. It's not Fuzz. Fuzz is shaking his head no.
No, I checked. It's at least at the time, or as far back as an hour earlier today, it was not on PC Game Pass. It'll probably come next month or something along those lines.
Right on. Yeah, so Balatro, I have on Xbox, I have like 100 hours in. I also last year I played a lot on the Switch, as well. So I don't know exactly how much time total I've played with Balatro, but it's been a lot. like if you add everything up. And it's one of those games. It's just like, hey, just chilling right now. You're not really feeling like even playing a game, but you put Balatro on because like you were gonna do a quick run or whatever. Um, you're about to leave. You're waiting on Kate to get ready or something like that. Hey, I'll just pop on Balatro real quick, or things like that at night, chilling. Um, just finished the movie, not quite ready to fall asleep yet, but still tired. Hey, pop on Balatro, right? It's like that. It's like that
Yeah.
kind of game, but it's like so addicting to play
That's
because
my
it's
Marvel Snap right now.
yeah, it's like a snack, It's like it's a game as a snack where you can get really sucked in and be addicted and play for hours and hours if you want to. Especially if you're trying to beat something and really struggling with it, but it's like also the thing I love most about that game is get when you start to get it and you start to learn the systems and what helps and what you need to look for, what you need to go for, and what to stack or what jokers to try and get, and all these different things. Like once it starts to click with you and all the different mechanics that are there and how they operate on top of each other, then it's like becomes even more satisfying because you learned how to make your score get higher, and it's like makes you feel rewarded just in your ability to look out for those things and to strategically make the right choices along the way, right? And there's different difficulty levels for all the decks. You unlock all these different decks, and they added also the made announcement of more of the customized face cards and stuff you can have for for all these different games as like paying homage to all these different games and stuff like that. I think that's really cool. So my main thing is not that it does necessarily anything for me because I already own the game, and it's also been one of the games that I can stream because it's in the stream your own game thing. So I've been playing it that way too. But for everybody that has not played it or had a chance to play it or has been on the fence for it to hit Game Pass, it's the perfect game for that, man. Because it's like you remember how Texas Hold'em became like a Xbox Live Arcade phenomenon back on the 360 days, and Uno did as
You
well,
mean
right?
Uno? Yeah.
No, well, Texas Hold'em was first because they
Yeah,
gave
I
it
know.
away for free, right? And they gave that away for free, and it was like everybody was playing Texas Hold'em, and then Uno had kind of the same thing, like
And then
so
people started showing their dicks, and then
yeah, it got a little crazy. Got a little
Yeah.
crazy. So I could imagine like that, this being in Game Pass, like just kind of becoming another kind of de facto game for a lot of gamers that play in the Xbox ecosystem to kind of hop in here and there because it's one of those games that's like just feels like it should be on everybody's system. You know what I mean? It's like a Tetris, it's something like that. It should be like, hey, it's one of those games that I feel like is super addicting, and yeah, I'm excited for everybody to get a chance to play it that hasn't yet. It's not going to be for everybody, It's a roguelike game based on poker rules, right? So if you're not into that kind of stuff, it's not going to necessarily be for you. But if you like card games, if you like um, games that can progressively get better at, it's better than solitaire. I'll tell you that. You know, so it's a blast, and I'm excited for everybody to get a chance to play it that hasn't yet. Pong was the first thought when I saw that because he keeps talking about. I can't believe I haven't gotten it yet, but now you don't have to. It's just right there. So, um, yeah, it was a great game, and I think it deserves all the kudos that it's gotten, and will continue to get as more people play it. So,
What was your rating of the show?
uh, like it's like I try to take IGN out of it. It's probably like six, 7 like that for the games that were shown. Like I think
Mhm.
there's been better new indie game announcements at past ID at Xbox shows or games that I'm more excited for. But this one still had some good games. I had quite a bit that's hitting Game Pass day and date. The other one, I like rhythm games. So what was it, Ratata whatever. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the name. It's
Ratatata.
Patapon. Patapon.
Patapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, it looks really cool. I'm interested in trying that. Right, no, Ratatan. Ratatan. It's
Oh,
not
it's Rataton?
Ratatan. Yeah, Ratatan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Um,
Patapon.
yeah, it's Ratatan is new game from the creators of Patapon. Ratatan is a rhythm strategy roguelike that sees you taking increasingly huge groups of minions through a world in which you need to literally conduct your attacks, hit the rhythm, and you'll stay alive. Mix in up to 4-player co-op, and you can have over 100 characters on screen in a single fight. I like rhythm-based stuff, you know. So that's anytime you see a new take on that, it's pretty cool. So it seems like something that's gonna be really original, also for a rhythm-based game. So I thought that
Yeah.
was interesting. Revenge of the Savage Planet was like, I think it was the first game they showed. That
Was
looked
that the
pretty.
like the High on Life type game?
Yeah, it's looked pretty crazy.
It's
The
been out for a
characters of the
while.
animation and stuff look pretty good. That's
It's a
coming on.
sequel to Journey to the Lost Planet.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Yeah,
it's
Journey
like
to
a
Savage
sequel.
Planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sequel, co-op and stuff looks pretty cool. Animations look fun. Rock Beast looked interesting. I was thinking that looks like a 3-bit game when they were showing that one. It
Yeah.
looked like remember Volcano High, the PlayStation game that came
Yeah.
out like early this generation. It reminded me of that when I was seeing it, kind of.
Yeah, that where you're not talking about the Rock one, right?
Yeah, this is the
Like
Rock one,
the
Rock Beast.
this is Rock. Yeah, that was like Team. I think that was Team 17.
Yeah. Well,
Was that?
This one
may have been.
is. Do, do, do.
I thought I saw their logo after that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Rock and Roll Band Manager. It's the '90s vibes is what I liked.
Yeah.
I don't know who makes it. I don't even think they even said in this like little cut on Xbox Wire.
Oh. I thought it said Team 17. But yeah, that game looked pretty
Maybe
interesting.
it might be. I'm not sure. So yeah, it looked pretty cool. The raccoon game full of mini games and stuff looks fun. The first time we saw that, I thought it looked pretty fun. Another one, Tempopo, another rhythm-based game, but this was like a platformer rhythm game, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll be into that or not. That one's coming to Game Pass as well. Tron Catalyst looks pretty cool. I don't remember seeing the ultimate sheep raccoon. I don't even remember what that is. That was at the show?
It was at the show, but they did a stream afterwards on Twitch to actually play it.
Oh, okay.
So think of like, whatever game that Jasper was saying earlier, but I look at it as kind of like a side scroll Fall Guys, but on bikes. And you can pick all these weird animals and stuff. And what do you call it? You can set traps or bonuses and things like that.
It's basically like a party game. Kind of think like Super Meat Boy, where you have to get from the left to the right side of the screen, and like the finish line is on the right or wherever. And like you and your 4 friends or whatever, like put platforms or traps to try to like make the level difficult, so you can get to the finish line, but your friends can't. Okay. It's like that.
Yeah, it seems interesting. Wudo looked kind of weird and interesting. That I still like that whole Russian roulette game. That was just fucking crazy. Buckshot roulette. That was nuts. I thought the Lonesome Guild actually looked really good. And that one was from, I think, Don't Nod.
Yeah.
So it looked like a different game for them, but that one had like, it's one I think I got to get my hands on to see how it plays and what it feels like. But I remember it had like some really cool looking abilities and stuff with the characters. Let's see what else was there. Yeah, Hotel Barcelona looked like an acid trip. I don't even know what to think about that game. Looked pretty crazy. Descenders was shown. It's the next Descenders game. They had some pretty cool stuff. We got the release date for 33 Immortals, which was probably the second biggest news from this show for me. Got Balatro Game Pass announcement, which is a super big deal, I think, and then also 33 Immortals release date, and just March 18th. We don't have to wait that long for it, so that's another Game Pass day and date game that I know a lot of people have been looking forward to. So overall, they had some pretty cool stuff here. It wasn't like any like amazing like wow holy shit that indie game looks sick. It wasn't like a replaced here or something like that kind of like what's that, you know. But overall there's some pretty cool indie stuff that was shown at the show, and a lot of it coming to Game Pass day and date, so I'll get to check it out and get our vibe on how we like it, you know, without having to worry about spending the money, you know. Like I said, we're all well-filled gamers here on Fun Speculation. We like our Game Pass and our free shit, right? So
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, those are kind of like the standouts and stuff. And you know, IGN sucks, so it's like I don't want to let it knock too much of the show because IGN's the ones that did it.
Well, yeah, that's where I was saying, like,
Yeah.
presentation
Yeah.
wise, like, because if you're watching the show, it is getting interrupted constantly by IGN ads. So if you are judging it from a presentation standpoint of like, how do I enjoy? I feel like presentation wise sucked. The game show were interesting to me. So like some people could separate that. I couldn't. That's why I gave it such a low score.
Yeah.
But I'm able to kind of do that with certain shows, like with the Sony State of Plays, for example. As a Sony show, those are awful, especially the last one. Like I forgot what I really like, 2 out of 10, something like
Yeah.
pretty low. But if you are not just looking at it from a Sony standpoint and you're just enjoying the games third party wherever it's going, then it's obviously it's higher, right? So it's like I judge these shows kind of differently depending on the context of, I guess, what it is. And
Yeah.
yeah, it goes either way.
Right on, man. Yeah, and shout out to a Murder War earlier member for 18 months says Balatro is big for Game Pass. I play it daily. Yeah, it's a daily game for us too. Kate plays it a lot. It started clicking for her more recently as far as like how to get the higher scores and stuff. She had one run where she was getting, I think she got 3.4 mil in her round, and it's like holy shit, I've never even gotten that much. But yeah, she's been rocking that game a lot, playing all the different decks and stuff. Shout out also to Ruben Francis who hit us with a Fun Speculation membership. Thanks for gifting that sub out, Ruben Francis. Super appreciated to you, and shout out to the rest of the chat. Shoot you motherfuckers! Thank you all for being here. Shout out
Choo-choo!
Oh, choo-choo!
Choo-choo!
Ha, 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 ha.
Took me a
shout-
minute to find it.
Shout out to Special Nick who's here hanging out in the chat as well. I wonder if Nick knows what the Tony Hawk news is.
Bring back Underground. I
We-
don't want Pro Skater.
I mean, I
I don't
think
want it.
I think it's probably 3 and 4 remastered. But the thing so Tony Hawk had a little tease today, and it said like loading new parks,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like new parks, and it showed like a loading bar for that. So I don't know what that necessarily means. If it's just a remaster, right? So that's what the one that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. 'cause-
Maybe it's like a remaster of 3 and 4, but also like a track editor thing, so
Yeah.
you can like make your own skate parks or whatever.
Yeah, I think the rumors are that it's going to be whatever the announcement will be on March 4th, and then whatever it is will be probably released this summer at some point. That's I think what the rumors are currently, but we'll have to wait and see. It'd be cool if it's a shadow drop announcement. Hey, this is what this is, and play now, right? Because I love the Tony Hawk games. I bought the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster when it came out. Thought it was a blast. So if 3 and 4 comes out, that'd be awesome. But yeah, the whole new park thing is what kind of threw me for a loop a little bit on that.
Or
So
it could be like cut content too, or something from like the originals that they're
yeah,
putting in.
maybe, or maybe it's just they're adding
That would be
content to
cool.
1 and 2 remaster.
Yeah.
Or adding
Yeah,
3 and
yes.
4 to 1 and 2 as like add-on content.
Either way, I disagree.
Yeah, I want like American Wasteland and Underground. Those were the
Yeah.
ones I liked.
Yeah, I love this. I love Project 8. I love the Undergrounds. I was never a huge pro skater person. Like besides me constantly skating that same level with It's like the underground one, like the very first level. I would skate that constantly, but I was always an underground person or Project 8 was pretty cool. I don't know. I miss those games. I hope eventually Activision kind of goes in their back catalog a little bit and starts to either up-res those games, do something so I could play those games. Because I don't even think I could play Underground on the Series X. I could play like no, I don't think I can. I don't think
It
they
may
ever
not
brought
be
those
back
games.
compat. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think those are back compat. So
Probably not because there's a lot of licensed stuff in that.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we had a poll going about Balatro. Said, have you played Balatro? No, excited to try it in Game Pass. That's 50%. No, don't like, no interest. That's 25%. And then yes, love it, 23%. So 73% is either playing it already or
I'm just confused on where
going to
the other
give it a go.
2% is.
Yeah, it's 98%. I'm guessing there's like a 20.
It's like
50.8
50.8 or whatever. Yeah.
something like that. There's some missing math in here, right? But
YouTube's like, well,
yeah, we're just gonna round it off.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do percentages.
Yeah.
So, overall,
That's interesting.
yeah, I think a lot of people are excited about that. I didn't see a lot of talk after the ID at Xbox today, regarding the show, or people excited for necessarily any of the games or anything like that too. So it is what it is with that. But did want to get into a little bit of Avowed here. Jasper, you only play like an hour, you said, right?
Yeah, I got to
You did
I fought the bear.
intro, and then
and I fought the bear, and then I went back to the city and was gonna have to talk to someone, and then I stopped playing.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
like that's like you pretty much just done like the intro.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I think when I played Avowed, I kind of feel like there's like two intro sections, right? There's like the first intro area where you're getting to where you need to go, and then there's a second one where you kind of do that first mission thing, right? And then it kind of starts after I think you kind of get to the city. It's kind of when the game really seems like it's like, hey, this is where your journey is going to start in a way, right? So yeah, but overall, just like in your first hour, do you have any kind of initial impression things yet on it?
There's nothing that's like really clicked with me yet, which like I thought it would have clicked sooner, but like I don't know, just like the weapons, like it starts you with the dagger. Well, it started me with the dagger. I don't know if it starts everyone with the dagger, and it's like kind of just wanted to do my own thing, and it's like, no, you're gonna have to find all these other weapons before you find the combat that you want to do, and I'm like, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I think Pong had the same problem with that, and the weapon that you get apparently is based on which background you choose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like for
I
me,
got
it
an
was
axe.
a sword.
Yeah, I got a dagger.
What did you get, Fuzz?
Yeah.
I think I got a sword. 'Cause I went for the fighter one.
The Noble Zion or whatever, or no, that's
Uh,
I went Noble
or
Zion.
the war guy, or like basically I went with like the military or the war guy or something like that. And then I wound up getting the sword, and then I found the shield shortly later or shortly after and stuff.
I think like that first intro area, they're kind of using it as like a tutorial, kind of just to teach you the basics of the combat and stuff. And then shortly after, like when you get to town or whatever, you can kind of get whatever stuff you want. But I found myself pretty much sticking to I have a grimoire and an axe. Right, I found a special axe.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
That's kind of what I've not the axe, but like I got the book in my left hand and a sword in my right hand. It's kind of what I've stuck with.
Oh, I had for a while. It's different now, but for a while I had the grimoire and a wand, and then just kept flipping between the wand and like some spells. It felt like Harry Potter. Pretty nice.
Nice. What were you rolling with, Fuzzy, weapons wise?
It's basically a one-hand sword, shield on the first kind of loadout, and then I switched to the wand and the spell book. Although I've found a couple of different spell books, just hunting around and stuff. But the main thing I like doing now is I have a dagger that's fire imbued, and then I have a set of gloves that I guess spreads the fire or some. It does some sort of status effect type of thing. So if I stab them, they could take fire damage, and anybody that they are nearby takes the fire damage as well. So it like spreads, and then Kai can sometimes prep them by shooting them, and then they're already on fire. So it's like almost like a one-hit kill if I go to stab them with that dagger type of deal. So
Right. Yeah, I feel like you can kind of play this however you want, this game, and even if you apply points into whatever attributes, like you can still make use of whatever weapon, which is interesting.
Is there a respec thing in the
Yeah,
game?
yeah, there is. It's you
Okay.
just do it right from the menu, and like it just costs a little bit of gold.
Because
So
at first, like I thought I was gonna go bow and arrow, so then I chose like when you get your first like skill, it gives you whatever. I chose like the vines to like trap them. I'm like,
yeah,
that doesn't really fit my build now. So
well,
Yeah, I
if
was doing the
you
same.
one of your companions has an ability too that you can unlock for the vines. So you can use his vines, which I use his vines quite a bit. So I'll trap him with his vines, and then I'll cast like spell on it too. But like yeah, I like the way things combo off each other. And I still haven't really 100%. Like I'm a little further in now, but like I haven't 100% committed all the way into one direction yet because I found awesome weapons that have kind of like made me think about doing different stuff. Like I was using for my secondary weapon for a while, I was using a bow and arrow, and then I switched to because I wanted to try a rifle. It's like, and my idea was like, okay, the rifle's stronger, so I can initiate the battle using that to get like a headshot and kind of start the battle off that way, and then switch to my spell and axe, and that would freeze them and then bash them with the axe and stuff, which is kind of the way I was
Yeah, I
playing.
was gonna do a gun, but like my
it's
gun
so
was
slow.
really high, but it was too
Yeah,
slow. Like I know
Yeah.
eventually, so I was gonna like, okay, this is a good gun. Maybe in the future when I upgrade where you can reload faster,
yeah, your
it'll be more
dexterity,
useful.
yeah,
Yeah, but so now I'm using. I was using a shield for a long time until I realized like I had two really powerful, like at a powerful dagger and a powerful just like sword or whatever. And now I'm just dual wielding those because the dagger can freeze people, I think, and then my sword poisons them. So I'm just constantly freezing and
yeah,
poisoning people, and it feels very OP and amazing. Because for a while in the beginning of the game, I was just getting trashed. Like I was playing on hard for a little bit, so that's probably why. But like I was not going anywhere. I was just constantly dying. I was like, oh my gosh. But I had weak weapons, and then eventually I found some cool ones.
That's like you all talking about like having the imbued weapons and stuff. That sounds really cool, but I wish like maybe the tutorial would have started you off with a powerful weapon so you can like know what you're building up to, and then you get the shitty weapons. Because like the shitty weapons now, it just makes this game feel bad.
it won't take long for you to find a good one. They come
Yeah,
pretty. If you explore, you'll find stuff. If you do like bounties, or if you do even some of the main quest lines, like
yeah, I will say once I got those weapons, Jasper, like it completely changed the game for me
yeah,
because I was just like, oh man, I'm just dying. It feels weak. Like what the heck? And then I forgot which mission it was. Like I managed to go in some cave and it had like really good weapons. I was like, oh okay, let me try this, and I was immediately like killing people, and it felt like good. I was like, ooh, okay, this is what it could be. I was like, okay, okay,
yeah.
and yeah, then it
And when
got
you
better.
find like one of these better weapons and you use it for the first time, you're like, oh, that's really cool. So I after using the bow and arrow, then I switched to the rifle. Then I found a pistol that was like a lightning effect on it. And
Mm.
yeah, that thing is super powerful and strong. It hits harder than my rifle does, and it does the additional effects and the damages and stuff like that. So I ended up equipping that as my secondary with a special shield that I picked up.
Mm.
So if I get rushed, I can switch and I can use the shield defend myself a little bit if I get desperate. Because I have the other thing I found is there's abilities that I really like that you can use to refill your essence and your health,
I
right?
have this
So
wet thing. Like if I'm in water, it like heals me or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You recover your health when you wet. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's pretty cool. I
So
know. I just stand in
yeah.
water fighting enemies, and it just heals me or something like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun to experiment in this game. You know, a lot of times, like in these kind of games, like I'll just find something, I'll stick with it the whole way through. But when I find something now, I'm like, oh, I want to try that, and it kind of changes the thinking on how I want to play with the builds going forward. So right now, I'm liking that lightning pistol so much that I'm like, oh man, should I like build off of this? But then I find a new grimoire book, you know, and it's like, oh, this has other spells, and I see the ones that if I keep leveling up and applying points to, I can unlock these other abilities for those books as well. But if you use pick up those books too, you can apply points to them when you level up to actually unlock the spell to use at any time, whether you have the book or not. Also, which
Oh,
is a cool
speaking
thing.
of books in this game, that's the number one most annoying thing so far is just like the letters in the open world that you click on for the lore. If I can't immediately exit out of that shit, it's annoying. I just read it because in case there's like an XP thing or like you learn something, like I just click on and be like, oh, I read it, and then I want to exit. But no, it holds you there for a fucking second. I'm like, let me out of this fucking paper.
Right. I
I
didn't
will
even
say
notice
something
that.
about the letters is like sometimes the letters will have something in them like you'll find treasure in the
Yeah.
cave and it'll tell you where to go. So if you don't read it, it's not gonna you know how normally in games if you
Yeah.
read something it'll automatically like here's the marker for that. Like nope.
Yeah.
If you didn't if it tells you where to go. If you don't read that then it's like hey, you missed
Yeah.
out. That's something I did realize like way later. Like I was just like, oh, speed reading stuff, like skip, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think it said something that was important.
Because
Let me go
usually,
back.
like, I'm playing it like you would play like a Bethesda game where like you find like a random book that gives you like 50 XP or whatever. You just read it and close it, and like you don't even actually read the fucking
Yeah, I
book.
don't
You
think
just
you
like,
get XP in this man.
yeah.
I think my favorite thing so far is the exploration, the combat, and then also the decisions you have to make. And I did learn now specifically about consequences for the
Yeah,
decisions
there
that
are
you make.
consequences.
Like
Yeah,
one of the, I didn't expect to see what I saw for one of my consequences, and this was there was I talked about this I think last week on PM and the PM. There was a certain time when I sat there and I was like really pondering a decision because it's like my heart was in one place, but like the way I was trying to play was in another. But that decision had this certain ended up weighing pretty heavy for what happens now because I've had different interactions that I think somebody else would with different characters, and it's also I was walking on a path to my next place to go, and randomly, I don't want to say what it was because I don't want any spoilers, but randomly right there, dangling in front of me was a consequence for one of my actions, and it surprised the hell out of me. And I was like, wow, okay, whoops. I guess that's my bad. This is my fault because of what I did. Shit. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want to say more because I don't want to
it's
give it
hard because
away.
I had a similar thing. It's hard to do it without spoiling, but like
Yeah.
something I mentioned on Boom shows, like the side quests can be very important.
Yeah.
Like and this different stuff that it mentions like again like you read a letter and it mentions something or you just talk to somebody, it can have major consequences to the main story, which surprised the heck out of me too because I was like what the heck, like that actually influenced the main story. Eventually we'll be able to talk about what influences what, but like yeah, that surprised me
Yeah.
too. It like opened the game's world up for me of like what's possible and made me vibe with it for a bit because I think in the beginning I did have a similar experience with Jasper where I was just getting my butt kicked and I was just like oh what the heck and I didn't understand the weapons and stuff like that. But as I was going to different towns, going on different quests, realizing the effects of the weapons, how your companions have like different abilities and how you can use their abilities to like attack or open up new areas, the puzzles and stuff that you can do with like freezing water, for example. It's pretty cool. They've thought about a lot for a lot of the missions, so I'm impressed with it for
Yeah.
sure.
The early on too, like I like that there are enemies and places that you're gonna get your ass handed to you because the enemies are gonna be super strong or powerful that you're not necessarily supposed to come upon that place yet. I had one of those where I kept beating my head up against a brick wall, getting my ass kicked, early on. And then when I was, I didn't remember where it was because this was like super early on in my playthrough, and I didn't make a point to like look at the map or wherever where I was at the time. And then later on, before I left this area to go on to the next, I was like, oh, I remember those fuckers. I haven't seen them again yet. I never went back there. So I actually spent probably about like 30, 45 minutes looking for that place. Specifically to go show them who I am now. And make sure they felt the punishment for beating me down early on.
Yeah.
And that was a blast going back. With two companions too, like it makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Favorite things about Avowed so far, or impressions, Fuzzy?
Combat definitely up there. On the exploration, a small thing that I guess I don't know if it's just that I noticed, but it's like the mini map shows you like the edible stuff that you can pick up or certain drop location things. But it also shows enemies that you might not see in front of you. So, and I'm playing it on normal. So if you see like an enemy, like the little orange or red, like teardrop thing, and it's like, well, they either have to be under me or they have to be on the other side of this mountain or something. That usually tells you that there's like a secret passage somewhere to get to them, and that they might be protecting treasure. So I like the fact that even though it doesn't tell you there's a secret wall, you can kind of guess or figure it out that, hey, well, if there's an enemy there and I don't see them right now and they can't get me, then I got to figure out how to get to them. Or maybe they're under me in a cave or a tunnel or something, and there could be like one of those boxes. And I like the fact that the boxes make sounds, or any loot, like even if it's on like a dead body, like depending on the tier of the loot, it'll make a certain sound that you can hear. But once you get a certain companion, you can kind of use them as like your radar detector to some extent. But I just like the combat's probably the biggest thing. Exploration, because it looks like if you think you can go there, you can actually get there. You just got to figure out where you have to either climb or go around something, or find a way that well, like some of the stuff, like I didn't even think of it the first go around, although I didn't find a time where I needed it just yet. But like using some of your abilities, like the frost ability to freeze the water to make a platform so you can walk across the water instead of having to swim everywhere and stuff. So little things like that I just like. So and the fact that, oh, the mission tells you to go right, I'm going left. Although I didn't do like Pong did, and I got to try that at the dock where you just go for a swim and find that treasure chest. I missed that one. But yeah, there's just so much, and it's like I'm 15 hours in. I haven't looked at my playtime just yet, but I think it's like around 15 hours, and I'm still in like the first main city, but like the second section of it. So I got a lot to go. I definitely got a lot to go, but I'm lifting up every rock, smashing every crate to see if there's something inside of it, kind of thing. I'm starting to become a little bit more of an a-hole when I respond to people, like where the choices where you can look at them searingly or make an evil grin, and then they start getting scared, like boss, I don't think we should do this. It's like, shut up, I'll deal with you later.
Yep, I do the same.
and that's when it's about to go down. Now, the one guy that runs away, they don't get a health bar, so I guess you can't kill them. But all the others, they're about to get it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Did
Definitely,
anyone
definitely
leave
a
the
lot of
woman
fun.
behind at the beginning of the game?
I actually took her along because I figured her boat will probably sink if I didn't, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I took her.
I
Yeah,
took her too.
I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, if that now Pong made an interesting decision too. That I wanted him to like at some point to find out what happened because after you fight early on, this isn't too spoiler, but there's a part where you fight a bear at the beginning, right? And there's like a
Mhm.
decision you have to make, and he went with a different one than I did, right?
Mhm.
So I'm curious, like, what happened after he went to the city. Because there's a
Mhm.
moment at the beginning of the game where you get to the city and there's like something that happens, right? And I can't
Oh yeah.
imagine what happened to me being okay with them not making the same decision I did after the bear scene, you know? So I'm curious how it
Hmm.
played out because it's like how does that interaction work?
Dang. Yeah. You can't.
I'm talking around it, without. Ugh. Eventually, this game will be like a year old, and we can have as much spoilers as we want, right? But
Yeah.
Spoiler
there's
cast.
enough interesting things like that in this game that's like makes me really appreciate the the choices and the consequences and the decisions, and that's something that's kind of like a hallmark of Obsidian in some of their games before. But this might be amongst the best in that regard that they've done so far for me. In a game that is in some ways less dynamic than other Western RPGs because you can't just randomly attack anybody, start light the town on fire or whatever. You know what I mean? Just random shit. There's less randomness like that, right? It's more directed and purposeful with everything that they did, handcrafted in a lot of ways. But handcrafting like that much choice in an RPG's got to be a very complicated thing when it comes to like story and how things play out. And I think they've done an excellent job with that so far. And it's still early, but like I've been most impressed with that. Seeing direct direct like reactions or uh whether it's like, oh shit, I should have done that, or being paid off for my decisions. Like I've felt that really impactful, like even early on in the game. I'm about the same as you, Fuzz. I'm 15 hours in to the game
Yeah.
so far, and I've already had that. It's also funny. Like,
It is really funny.
yeah,
They
they'll
say
make
some
some.
stuff I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting.
there's some adult innuendo jokes in here for sure.
I was like, what the heck?
There's a lot of adult innuendo
Mhm.
jokes. I'm like, because at times, like with the way the game looks and like how things are kind of common, how they normally talk and stuff, it's like, okay, this game is kind of like almost like E for everyone, minus the violence and stuff, right? And then this
Mhm.
random joke comes out from Kai's mouth or something, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
dude.
like he said something to the fact of like, "Oh, I would love to give her a few inches." Like, I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
where did that go
Yeah, he was talking about these guys
from?"
going to the brothel, and he was like, "I wonder if they'll have a happy ending." Or like, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, Kai, censor
Whoa.
yourself, bro. We're in public.
Yeah, it actually surprised me some of the
Yeah, it's
stuff they
like
say. I was like, "Oh shoot."
it's just
I
like
did not expect
random stuff like that. It's like, but it's like it's really cool when it comes out of nowhere too, and it's like so like just understated when they do it too. It's like, did I just hear what I think I heard? You know, but it's even I met the other new companion. I haven't got them yet, but the other new companion you can
Mhm.
get later on, I just met them, and that one is a character. I can't wait to put them in my party
Mhm.
because the mouth on her is crazy, so it's gonna
Is
be
that innuendo?
That's a lot of different innuendos. It's freaking crazy. But Kai is definitely a mouthful because he's
Yeah.
been saying stuff. I was like, oh dang, I didn't expect you to say that. So,
Mhm.
uh, this is cool writing, cool writing. It's just something I wasn't expecting. So,
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, props to them for crafting this game. I'm super loving it so far. But yeah, we got lots of way to go for Avowed. I know some people playthroughs have been like 100 hours almost. So
Yeah, I'm like 25 to 30 hours.
yeah,
So I'm not as much as fuzzy or anything, but like I've played a good amount.
so you're
Pretty good.
You're 25, 30. You played more than any of us here.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's
I mean,
got
There's
15.
just so many games.
I've been doing a lot of grinding for materials, so I've
I've been
doing the
screwing
upgrade.
around. So I just like look at the sky like, wow.
Yeah,
So that's been my playthrough.
There's just too many games.
there's a lot. There's a
There-
lot,
there
man.
is.
There's gonna be even more soon, man. Like
Yeah, I
I
haven't even
want to.
touched Kingdom Come yet. That
How can
I
you?
can't wait
How
to
can
get
you
back to
like?
that.
Is anybody in the chat playing both Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Avowed right now?
I got like 11 hours in Kingdom Come, and then like Avowed came out, and I played like an hour of Avowed, and then I've just been busy.
Right. So I'm trying to feel like, how could I play both of these games at the same time? Because they're both kind of like intense and immersive and kind of like capture you in a way. I think you're still too
Mhm.
early on for that, Jasper. You got to get like a little bit
Yeah.
further into the game before you start sensing some of that stuff. But like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is like this massive, huge thing.
That
But then
game's great.
Monster Hunter Wilds is just coming out.
Yeah,
Um,
I do want to hop on that, but I'm probably gonna have
Yeah,
to wait.
I saw fucking Pong and Steel like posting about it today. I'm like, I'm not jumping in that game. Like I had a thought, and I was like, it lasted a few seconds. Like, I'm not doing it.
did the reviews come out for that today?
I
I think
don't
so.
know.
I
I've
think
seen a lot
so.
of negative stuff about it today, but
Did
I don't know
you?
if the reviews came out.
I
Yeah,
think
because
the
everyone's hating like
No, they came out. It's got a 90.
everyone. I just saw everyone hating like the color palette and like the performance mode on consoles. It makes it look like a PS2 game or something.
Oh, yeah. It's got a 90 on Meta based on 74 reviews. That's gonna be a huge game, and like it looks awesome to me. Like the color palette's been in there since the fucking trailers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
it's got a little bit more brown tones to it and stuff. Like, something we saw common back in the 360 era, right?
Yep.
But overall, like the animations have been what stood out to me so far on Monster Hunter Wilds. So yeah, but that's coming. That is coming out. Yakuza Pirate Hawaii just came out too, and that looks awesome. Shortly next month, Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out, and that game apparently got
Yeah.
leaked because physical
Those physical
copies
copies,
got
yeah.
out. So people have been actually playing and streaming that game. I'm not sure what the feedback is on it yet, but I remember from the last previews it was really positive. Then we got South of
Adamfall should be
Midnight.
soon.
Oh yeah,
South of Midnight.
South of Midnight's in April. So, yeah, Adam Falls in March. We got 33 Immortals now in March. Clear Obscure Expedition 33, which I'm gonna have an opportunity to talk
When's
about
that again?
game
Is that
at some
March?
point here.
I think that's April. After South of Midnight. I think it's like the middle of the month. South of Midnight's at the beginning of the month of April. Something like that, I think.
Yeah, I think it's both South of Midnight and Clear Obscure are both in April. I just don't remember which one's which date.
Okay.
My whole thing is just I have a list of games, and I'm trying to stick to that list because otherwise,
what's on your list? I want
I
Coffee Talk 3,
I have
Coffee Talk 4.
I have most of the Yakuza games on my list. I have Avowed has always been on my list. I've had South of Midnight. And it's like I have to complete one of these games or at least complete to a level I'm happy with before I move on to the next. Otherwise, for me, when I jump to another game and then come back, it's always like it screws me up, or like I am like, what's the controls? What's the word? Like it especially Witcher 3. Like I got to the end of Witcher 3 multiple times. Like very end of the game, and then I take a break. I'm like, ooh, finally got to the end. Take a break, and then I come back, and I'm just like, what the heck? How do you play this game? I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but that's also why I kind of try to if I'm playing Avowed right now, it's just going to be Avowed until probably south of midnight.
I still
And
need to
then
finish
once
Stalker 2. I think I'm like right at the end of that game,
Oh
but
yeah,
Fuck,
oh
I definitely want to finish that
they
this year
they
at
just came
some
out with
point,
a
but I gotta come back to it.
huge update
yeah,
for.
fixed a lot of issues too.
Have you
yeah,
noticed?
Yeah.
you guys
Have you
beat
gone back
Indiana
to it?
Jones, right?
Well,
No,
uh,
my save is corrupted.
yeah,
I
so
Oh,
gotta
like,
either start over or hopefully that recent patch. I haven't checked it since the last patch they did.
yeah, I had a lot of bugs, and like, I just got to the point where I downloaded a mod tool where you could like put in it like a command or whatever, and just like finish the part you're on, like because I was just at a part where it was
Oh.
stuck and you couldn't do
on
anything.
Stalker.
I might need
Yeah.
that same mod because
They
me
upgraded
being
it again, I think, recently.
Yeah,
Mm.
a lot of the big update. It fixed the two. It supposedly fixed the two spots that my game got stuck in. So
Mhm. Yeah, mine got stuck because I fast traveled before finishing the desert thing where you have to drop the flag for the signal. Like I was right at doing that, and then I fast traveled back to burn the propaganda posters because I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, hey, why does it still say I have to drop the flag? I already did all this, and I can't. Like the flag doesn't have it where you can, pull it down or anything like that. So I gotta see if I can do that command prompt thing to complete it so I can move to the next phase.
Monster Hunter Wilds on
That's
February
weird. I
28th
had
comes to the
like
PlayStation
no
5.
bugs in Indiana Jones. That's crazy.
I was talking
Um,
about Stalker, but
Huh?
I said I was talking about Stalker, but
Oh,
Yeah. There
Wait,
was
wait,
he was talking about the huge patch that came out for Stalker 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, you weren't talking about Indiana. So
I was talking about
Wait,
Stalker.
He was talking about Indiana Jones. He was talking about Stalker. You were talking about
yeah.
whatever. I don't
so
know.
wait, the mod that you're
I'm
talking about,
tracking everything, but
the mod that you were just mentioning wasn't for Indiana Jones. You were talking about
no, that
Stalker.
mine was for Stalker. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was not tracking.
He was responding to me talking about the patch on the Stalker
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But yeah, Indy, I need to. I still need to finish too. I'm in like the second to last part. It's just I've been either busy or something else comes out that I get FOMO for that I can't wait. And I gotta play it.
Yeah.
Indy's still.
Well,
It's like amazing. It's such an amazing
a
game.
great ending. I wish well, I'll wait
Yeah, you
till you
got
guys
it.
beat
No, don't say anything.
I think I just left. I think I left off on Indy where I just left Egypt, or was about to leave Egypt.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
okay.
where I'm at.
Yeah, you're getting there's be a whirlwind of events happen for you soon, I think. So yeah, this Indy. I'm in um was it Siam? I think I forget the tropical jungle
Oh,
area.
okay. Yeah.
And I think there's only one more place after that. So and I'm
Think
probably
so.
like halfway done there. So it's just damn, dude, like all these games this year, it's not, and the problem is like it's not going to stop because we just talked about March, right? Talked about April, and we didn't even include everything. One of my most anticipated games for April is actually Tempest Rising, which is on PC. It's the Command and Conquer
Oh, yeah.
clone that I've been super hyped for since last year when I got a chance to play that demo for it, and I can't wait for that game. Then in May, got Doom: The Dark Ages hits, And at some point, maybe Towerborn in the first half of this year will hit as well. Maybe get a chance to check that out. But then also, we'll have the whole summer showcase season in June to get announcements for the second half, which we can expect a lot of stuff. We also know that Metal Gear is happening in August now. Fable's still supposed to be this year. That Oblivion remaster remake is potentially still this year as well. Now we have something Tony Hawk that's happening. It's just a relentless amount of content, and first party wise, Game Pass wise, but also just random, um, random stuff that we didn't even know about recently. But like Ninja Gaiden 4 later this year, right? And the problem is we already knew 2025 was already going to be stacked. We knew February was going to be stacked. We knew all the stuff, but just like every year, there's stuff that happens randomly or new games that just get announced for like, hey, this is coming around the corner, or hey, this is something that we're just dropping soon. And this year already added to the already crazy 2025 has been Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, Ninja Gaiden 4, whatever this Tony Hawk announcement is as well and then we have a small show like the ID at Xbox today that has several other games hitting Game Pass this year. Whether you're excited for them or not, personally, they're going to be for somebody, So, yeah, it's just a crazy year overall. And to think about what lies ahead. And I don't know how we're going to do everything.
Yeah, GTA is this year, apparently.
Yep. Also, there's supposed to be a big GTA 5 update on PC where they get all the next gen features on March 4th.
Oh,
Finally.
yeah.
Like, why did they think about delaying the ray tracing? Like, I mean, I know that there's mods out there for it, but that just felt like a slight to the PC crowd. Like, come on, I don't know.
They are purposefully late on PC stuff just because I don't know. Rockstar is just weird with PC. Like it's money reasons most likely. Like when GTA 6 launches, like the delay of PC will just make people double dip. So
yeah, I know. Like I'm gonna have to fucking go get my Xbox, and so I can just fucking play GTA when it comes out.
I mean, it's gonna work. I'm probably gonna get it on both, so they know what they're doing. Like GTA 6, I probably will double dip.
Yeah, I mean, I bought GTA 5 like fucking 5 times.
Yeah, I bought GTA 5 on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Then I bought it on the Xbox One, and then I bought it on the Series X, and then I bought it on PC, and I think I had another copy on the Xbox One. So yeah, I bought it a couple times.
It's something to keep an eye on for GTA. Because Xbox is implementing this whole stream your own game feature, right? And they've already added several. And some of the first ones they added was big 2K games like NBA 2K25 and stuff like that. So they're also adding more and more games supposedly this year, and their goal is to get it to where most of the games are going to be playable to where for stream your own game. If you have Game Pass Ultimate. So that means if you buy a game and you have a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, you can stream it from wherever you are, right? So
it doesn't have to be on the same network.
No. It's just like it works
Okay.
within game like in Game Pass, you can if you go to xbox.com/play in your browser right now, Jasper, you can launch it up like
Sounds like an ad.
I know. Hey, everybody, go to xbox.com/play. Stream your own game. If you own it, you can play it. If it's one of the there's about 55, 60 games are on there right now, I think. And it's something they just launched in December, and they've talked about how they're going to be amping that up and adding a ton of games to it over the year. And eventually they want it to have to where almost every game that you own you can play that way. But being that 2K was one of the early supporters of it, where with some of the games that they have, like I've been playing 2K25 like that. It's been a great experience. So if you got a good internet connection, I'm wondering for PC only players if that's something that they could be a get around to playing on PC.
Oh, I can finally fucking play the Division 2 without having to buy it on PC and lose all my saves. It's because it's on the stream your own game, so I can.
There you go. There's a lot of big ones on there too. Newer games. I think even some of them that have just released more recently were put onto that as well. So it's one I want to see.
Yeah, I only got 6 games on there, but
hey, which one? Which
I got Cyberpunk, Dying Light 2, Insurgency, Sandstorm, Guardians of the Galaxy, Metro Exodus, and Division 2.
Right on. Yeah, Top Spin 2K25's on there. NBA 2K25's on there. I think WWE was on there for WWE 24 when they just launched it. for last year's. So I'm just keep an eye on. I wonder if GTA 6 will actually support that feature, stream your own game.
If I was Xbox, I would do as many features as I could with GTA.
Well, yeah, the
Um,
question is like, does Take-Two allow that, or like what would
yeah,
be that? What would be the hang up? Is it something that is a licensing thing, or is it something that's like a you know,
maybe they
the fact
have
that they
to.
did it with NBA 2K, like made me consider that it could be a possibility. And
True.
also
Oh,
we
yeah.
know that they're trying to get it towards like every game that you own eventually is going to be supporting this. So I don't know what the hangups are as far as what is going in and when and what's involved with that. But it would be a pretty big deal if GTA 6 is on that feature for anybody that doesn't own a next gen console. If you
Yeah.
don't own a PS5 or Series X, you can't play it. And unless they support that feature, then you could, right? Because it won't be available on PC right away. So if they support that feature, then you could literally buy GTA 6 and play it from anywhere if
Yeah.
you have Game
I
Pass.
I think how Xbox is maybe doing it, like if it's like if you want to, maybe it's not as strict as this, but if you want to publish a game on Xbox, then you have to sign this thing where it says we could use your game
Yeah.
in other ways, because they might just have to start doing that, honestly. If they are wanting to expand their ecosystem and don't have any hangups from publishers anymore, because that's just annoying.
Yeah. I mean, I made a post recently that it's like the Xbox Anywhere and the stream your own game feature is going to start weighing really heavily into the decisions of the games that I buy. And it's not to say that it's like a mandatory thing or whatever, but just for me personally, when I'm making a decision because of how I play games now, like I play games on my Xbox console, I play games on my PC, and I play games on the cloud via my tablet when we're chilling at night, right? And for any game that supports in either of those features, it's just added value for me and with access to my game, and I don't have to think about having to double dip or not. And the reason I was bringing that up is there's a specific game, the uh, Warriors Abyss, right? The Dynasty Warriors one that's like a roguelite. I was about to pull the trigger on it, and then I realized it doesn't have any of those features. It doesn't have any of that. So it's like if I get it, I can console stream to my tablet, sure, but I like doing the other way better. I don't get access to it on my PC either. I'd have to double dip on PC. So it's like for me, that's like anti me, for the fact that the game doesn't support the any of those features. And I don't know if it's the publisher, if it's if it's on Xbox or what, but the games that support that I value more because I can access them in different ways.
Yeah.
So it's a personal thing, right? I know some people don't care if you only play on a fucking console. It doesn't matter if the game's available to other places. If you only play on PC, it's not gonna fucking matter to you if the game's available to other places. For me, it fucking matters. I chill in bed at night every night with Kate. We watch a movie or some shows or something, and I want to have my tablet up in front of me and be able to play my game. Um, and I love that. If I'm up here on my PC chilling and I feel like gaming here too, I want to be able to game the same game that I was playing on my console. I don't want to have to buy it again. So
What tablet do you play on, by the way? Is it just like
yeah, it's a
just
good
a
one.
regular?
No, I have a Galaxy Ultra tab. Like
He's an iPad kid now.
no,
iPad kid.
it's a Galaxy tab. It's like the S9 Ultra, I think.
And then does
I
it just have like the Xbox app? Just like a regular Android or whatever?
Yeah, it has the Xbox apps, but I actually just have pinned on the home screen like the Edge browser with the bookmark for the xbox.com/play
Oh, okay.
because it
Nice.
works flawlessly, and you can actually if you want to, you can buy games through there, do whatever through that app, if via the Edge browser. It has a stream your own games. It has the whole Game Pass library. And you just open it up. It opens up into full screen. Grab the controller, just using it like it's crystal clear. Later this year, they're supposed to be adding 4K support potentially to cloud gaming also, which is something that
Oh yeah.
they said they're working on. But once they do that with because my tablet's OLED also, right? So once they do that with my fucking tablet and all this, dude, it's gonna be fucking glorious. It's like a game changer for me, you know. So I
Yeah.
already play games quite a bit that way now, and I if they keep improving that, I see that future because I'm using it so much, and that's why I'm curious. Like, okay, if I'm on a PC and I go to that website and GTA's there now, obviously
Oof.
internet connection is going to be very important for that for people. But if you got a good broadband connection and you primarily game on PC, they support that feature. It'll be interesting to see how many people decide not to wait and go ahead
Yep,
and get the
Xbox
game.
has an advantage there with GTA. Like, if Xbox, especially with the new console we talked about, like if the new console is also a handheld, that's it's going to be the place to play GTA 6. And if you want to play GTA 6 on the go, like Xbox will just be like marketing wise, that I would capitalize on that if that is the case. So, just saying, Phil, if you're
Yeah.
listening.
Vince he says one thing about stream your own games is that it's not available in all the countries. Yeah. Well, it's also a newer thing that they just started rolling out.
Have you
too.
tried it like outside your house, Mav? Like, have you tried it like
No.
at work or like no?
I mean, I work from home primarily. If I'm not at
Oh.
home working, it's because I'm driving. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't really have the use case where somebody would be like, "Hey, I'm on a subway," or like, I'm at work," and you know how people game on the go in those
Yeah.
instances. I use it more for just in my own home convenience of access. You know, so I'm on my own connection, but I'm doing it through Wi-Fi. Also, I have a good router, so I'm sure that helps. But you know, I mean, if these PC gamers that have super high end PCs, I'm sure a lot of them have good internet connections. So you're on mute, Fuzzy.
Sorry, I know before they did the thing where you own your own games. I would try it like on hotel Wi-Fi, and using my phone, my 5G phone as a hotspot was a better
Yeah.
alternative.
Yeah.
But like now, considering you can do this on a MetaQuest 3, you can do this on your phone, you can do this on a tablet and all that stuff. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like because I'll probably because the what do you call them? HorrorCon start up next month, so I'm definitely going to be testing it out.
Yeah, that's why I was
Hopefully,
wondering. I was like,
yeah,
if it's
hopefully
better
it
on the
holds
go.
up on the 5G hotspot. Either that or I'll have to pay extra for the Wi-Fi. Like I don't like paying extra for the Wi-Fi. It should be like give us the best Wi-Fi you have for the hotel. Don't have
Yeah.
it where it's like the free and then the $15 a day one. Like I don't. I'm not. I don't want to pay 15 a day for probably 15 megabits versus the
Yeah.
8 or 5 megabits or whatever it is normally. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious what now later. Something else in March is GDC, and they did say there's Xbox app info coming in March. They said that in a actual kind of news post when they were talking about some of the other paths, the stream your own game feature specifically. When that was added, they talked about there was more Xbox app news coming in March at GDC. So I expect there to be maybe something to that at that time also. Um, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on something else this year that's just kind of like, the whole Xbox everywhere thing that so many seem to hate and I'm taking full advantage of. I fucking love it, right? Guys, anything else interesting happen or do you want to roll right into tidbits? I don't think
It was
there's
just
Nothing
the
I can think of.
Yoshida stuff, but yeah,
yeah,
that's about it.
it's just same old stuff. Like Sony
Yeah,
is in a
Sony's
interesting
trash.
place. PC
Xbox,
game.
what was it? Xbox better?
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he said that directly, but I think it was more. It was made more comments about their PC releases and how the console
Yeah, printing
market
money.
is. Yeah, and he said
The
like
shit that we've been saying for like the last
yeah,
5 years.
he said something
Yep.
about like the PC releases are mainly for U.S. and China market, because of how heavy PC usage is there. And it's like if you release your game in China, then if you're on PC, if you're not on PC, might as well not release it because it's like it's a
Yeah,
high
there's no
percentage,
consoles really
high
there.
percentage of PC
Yeah.
users there, right? So,
Yeah.
I think that the day and date thing is going to continue to shrink for most of their games. People move goalposts all the time, but literally one of the games that is published by Sony this year, that's a single player game, is coming to PC day and date. Um, but they won't count it because it's not made from one of their first party studios.
And
So
they only invested in it and kind of made it like that new first party description. It's first party when it's not talked about with PC. So yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just found it interesting because some of the other deals they did with other developers that they don't own, they also didn't release on PC day and date for their games, right? That they
Mhm.
published. But this one, they did publish it, Lost Soul aside, I think, right? They
Yeah.
publishing that one, and that one is PC day and date, single player. So didn't hear it. Didn't see anybody talking about this or mentioning it whatsoever because they're not counting it as first party. But PlayStation players will count it as first party if you ask them if it's a first party game or not, because it's
Mhm.
published by Sony, right? It's one of their
Oh,
first party releases this year. It's what they're counting on.
like Stellar Blade.
Right. I mean, the same thing. Right. Exactly. And you can look at that on Xbox for like first party games. Like, hey, Ninja Gaiden 4, Xbox considers that first party. They're publishing the game. Right. That's another one that whether they own the studio or not, they don't own Asobo. They make Flight Sim. Right. They didn't own Iron Galaxy or Double Helix that made Killer Instinct. You know what I mean? I think a part of it is owning the IP and
Yep.
stuff like that in the franchise also, and that's where it gets more
Mhm.
interesting in the publishing deals because like okay, obviously Xbox doesn't own Ninja Gaiden, right? I don't think Sony owns Lost Souls side. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm not sure, right? Uh, so that's where it gets a little bit more murky on some of that stuff. Obviously, Xbox owns Flight Sim and Killer Instinct, so
Yeah.
is what it is. All right. Well, everybody, this is going to be the last segment here on Fun Speculation Podcast, and it's called Tidbits, a segment where we look ahead at the games releasing for the week. Razor Ultron, you said the Eagles better. What are you talking about? Football season's over. Move on. You guys have tormented me enough.
Eagles.
If you really want to start tormenting me now, comment on Luca being a Laker. That's how you can torment me now. Enough with the Eagles shit. Football season's done.
Luaker.
It's done. Brett Bingham says, what about Death Stranding 2? Is it day and date? When does it come to Xbox since Kojima bought the IP back from Sony? Yeah, that'll be a time deal, but we don't know how long it is. So we don't know how long the publishing deal is for that game. But as long as the contract allows them to not allow Kojima to put it somewhere else, is what would be what the contract will state. The contract would be like, you cannot put this game on other platforms, especially Xbox, until this time period, right?
Mhm.
Remake Station 5 says Luca played great defense last game. I told people like when the trade happened that this year Luca has made an effort significantly to step up his defense. I've been telling people that he has 100%. So, man, Lakers.
Yep. they might have a good chance this year.
Nah, maybe. I don't know. They don't have any bigs. They don't have any bigs.
No bigs.
No bigs. All right,
Okay.
let's watch this tidbits.
All right, this first one is Ninja 5.0 coming to PS4 and 5, Switch and PC this Tuesday for $24.99. Actually, $21.24 on Steam with a pre-order sale.
Yeah, Konami's making money. They just raised everyone's pay, like Konami or something like that.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
the heck?
It's sort of Costco. Did y'all see that?
All right, this one is a bit of a strange one because it's already on PC. It's called Spectre Divide. Coming to PS5, Series X and S this Tuesday. It's a free-to-play.
Is
And
this
there was a
Shroud's
founder
game?
pack for like 100.
I think this is Shroud's game.
Oh, Shroud made a
programmers
game?
Have their own games now.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah, it is, and it's like it died immediately on PC.
Well, it's
So it's
finally
interesting
coming
when
to console,
streamers-
so maybe I'll get a second wind.
Streamers come out with video games. It looks very Counter-Strikey.
Yeah.
Cell Shade might help it with it being on console. Maybe it finds an audience.
Yeah, it just seems very like if I'm playing this, I need to like warm up and be very try hardy. Take me back to
Yeah,
my
it came
competitive
out
days.
looks like 5 months ago on PC, and it got 31,000 about players on Steam, and now it's 116.
Oh, so it's
More than Concord, am I right?
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
All right, this next one is Glover. Coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and Switch. Kind of like a remaster, let's just say, for $19.99 this Thursday.
Looks like the Hamburger Helper glove.
Wait, wasn't this
Yeah.
a cereal box game?
It looks like a cereal
Kinda.
box. I might have been the only person who played the Captain Crunch game that came out of the box. Very, very fun game. This is what that reminds me of.
The Browns are
Oh.
greater than Dallas. Oh, come on now. What?
The school. It's always in the school.
Is it going to be
Yeah,
your
always
tennis
is.
instructor?
All right, this next one is Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days Collection coming to Switch and PC this Thursday for $49.99.
Wow, this week sucks ass so far, Fuzzy.
I have a blue eyes white
I
dragon.
hope it gets better.
The next game will be the highlight,
Okay.
and then the last game is probably the second closest.
Okay,
Why so serious says I wouldn't play this if they paid me.
cool.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless you're talking about the last game, then.
Wait, one of these I've played like when it came out, I think.
I played this one when it came out. Dark Secrets or whatever.
I had like the demo on PC, and like I just played the demo over and over again. Like when you had like demo stuff on like disc. Like this is like 2001 or some
I
shit.
played one on the DS. That was the last one I played.
I miss Nintendo 64 game boxes. You know, they were like different than
Yeah.
any other generation or any other system ever. It was like huge cartridge in a rectangular box.
Zach Riley says this week has one of my most anticipated games in it, but I feel like you guys are skipping it. We'll see. Unless it already happened, then yeah, we're probably skipping.
Depends on if it's on whatever list Fuzzy found.
Yeah, if the game has already been shown, then we are probably skipping.
Right. I didn't realize this trailer was almost 3 minutes, so we're gonna we're gonna move to the next one.
Yeah, how many fucking Yu-Gi-Oh games have there been? My God.
This is the one that's the highlight.
Oh God, FOMO is gonna get me on this, bro. I don't know what to do about it.
Monster Hunter Wilds coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Friday for $69.99.
Looks so good.
My mistake. The last Monster Hunter game I played was whatever the bigger one that just came out was, and I wanted to play as like a bow character. That was a mistake.
I only ever played one Monster Hunter, and it was Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, that was the one I
better
played.
if you play with, people and friends and stuff. But like you guys, I've only played by myself mostly. So it's like, this is the one. It's like, if I get this, Steel gets it, Pong gets it, or whoever else, like maybe this would be the one that I like go into it and actually play with people and enjoy it the way it's really meant to be played. I just before never had that. None of my friends on Xbox, my friends list, ever cared about these kind of games. But this one looks like a huge step up, and like animations wise, combat looks so good.
Yeah, I would only get it if.
Yeah, this is basically like the Monster Hunter World, but like 2. It's like the sequel to that. It's like it's a step up.
And one more game, Zach, I think. So we'll see. Or how many more games are there, Fuzz? One more?
There's 2 more. This one, I'm gonna probably skip this trailer a little, or
yeah, it's 4.5.
Only because it's a 4-minute trailer.
You guys get the gist.
All right, this next one, 2 more to go. This one is Omega 6, the Triangle Stars, coming to Switch and PC this Friday for, I believe it's $19.99.
I think this is the one
have a price list on either one.
Let's go, game of the year.
Hunt for treasure.
Bingo with aliens.
There you go, 3-bit. There's another dating sim for you.
Let's go. I will say that cover art is atrocious. Just saying.
What? Just a bunch of random characters
I don't like
plastered on top of each other in random poses?
It's just bad. Just bad.
And this is probably the second biggest title, particularly for golf fans. PGA Tour 2K25 coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Friday for $69.99.
I
need another Mario Golf.
Now, considering the music, I'm going to mute.
Yeah, I already turned it down.
Okay.
I haven't gotten into a golf game in forever. I feel like golf games have gone downhill.
They're freaking hard.
Like it used to be like golf and hockey games. I used to love those as a kid, and now like I just can't get into them.
Well, they used to be some of the most gorgeous looking games back in the day too. It was like, wow, this is like, you remember like on a Super Nintendo playing like golf is like, wow, this looks great, or like a Nintendo 64, this looks amazing. Like for some reason, like they've lost the ability to make these games stand out amongst other games as being pretty, but it seems like it should be simple. It's fucking grass. Did they max out on the potential for grass? In graphics, I feel like they have. I don't know. I see better scenery in hunting games and stuff like that, like in golf games now.
No, I think the next step for these games is VR. Like, I think that's about the only next level stuff that you can really that they're going to advance. Like when everybody goes to VR, then that's when these will function.
And how is any
That
golf
shouldn't
game
fucking
any
like.
better than the last? You know what I mean? It's not like they can really improve the animations or mechanics too much. It's like the same
I
shit.
mean,
I
tell
think
that
it's
to
probably more like a Forza thing where like now we got photogrammetry of all the courses around the world or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
they take out features and put it in the next one.
I I feel like the way to do that was always make them look even better and look amazing, but they just don't. They don't look like
Well,
they did.
honestly, I feel like some NBA 2K games are starting to look worse, in my opinion. Like if you go back to certain NBA 2Ks, they're like slowly.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
What was your game, Zach Riley? I'm curious to know.
We said 2 Point Museum.
Oh, 2 Point Museums this week?
That
That
one, it's not on this week, only because only early access does it, and I try
Okay.
to avoid the early access. The game is officially, what was it, March 5th
Yeah,
or
it'll be on
2nd
next
or
week's.
something along those lines, so it misses the cut by a day on the early access. But if you do buy that upgraded edition, you can play it 5 days early, is what it comes to. So.
Right. Yeah, that's an official release next week. Yeah, it'll be on next week's Tidbits. I think there was another game that we had that with Avowed, I think, you know.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to do the Avowed one because it didn't have a show last week. So it is what it is, right? Early access kind of changes.
Yeah.
I like the 2 Point games also. The last 2 Point game
Yeah.
was 2 Point
Campus.
Yeah.
no, the one that came up. This one's Museum, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
new
there's
one's
2 Point.
Museum.
There was
Yeah.
2 Point what Hospital, 2 Point Campus, and
Yeah.
now 2 Point
Campus
Museum.
came out in Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
I played
What was
Hospital
your
as well at some point.
what was your highlight?
Oh, Monster Hunter. Everything else is
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Yeah, it was kind of.
I would play the golf games if like they were just like I would buy it like if it was like super cheap for like $5. You know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh,
It's been a
that's what
while.
happened with tennis. I just bought it when it's really cheap.
Sports games need to more developers need to come out and do stuff. So they need to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, more diversity in the
They
sports
can't figure it
scene.
out if you have no competition.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they got to figure out how to like the companies that are licensing out with doing these exclusive agreements or whatever whatever the reasoning or the maybe it's the cost of doing the license or whatever.
Mhm.
I think it's worse for these brands. It's worse for the NBA. It's worse for the NFL. It's worse for PGA. It's worse for everybody to only have one company making a major game based on your brand, right? It's like when Star Wars did the Lucas or Disney did the deal with EA, and then all of our hopes are on this one thing. You know, I hate that all of our hopes was different brands that we love that have had a history of great games from multiple different developers in the past being solely up to one developer year after year giving pretty much the same damn experience. Like let's fucking mix it up a little, please, and let's have some fun with these brands that have had a history of having great games in the past, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the documentary, if you guys have seen the one that Mav is in, with where they mention Mav's tweet, it's the Madden documentary. They actually mention in the documentary, which surprised me, the amount of fans that say like you don't deserve this license,
Yeah.
like there needs to be competition brought back, and they mention it like as like a heavy point in the documentary, which I'm like, oh, okay. Like sometimes you forget like they are sort of knowing what's happening in the gaming industry. So sometimes I just feel like they don't because of how some of the decisions they make are really awful. And it's like, what, you didn't think about that? But they did mention it in a documentary, and I hope that EA gets some competition.
Yeah,
That's what
I
happened
don't
with
even
the
blame
Capcom.
the publishers for getting those deals. I blame the companies for allowing those deals to be signed. I mean, they're the
Yeah.
ones like deciding to like, hey, we're going to allow an exclusive agreement with our brand and our property. Yeah,
it's
any
like
publisher,
NFL.
any like 2K would have done the same thing if they could have if they would have won the bid, or like yeah, you know what I mean? Like any of those publishers would have done the same thing if they could have afforded or put in the winning bid. So I don't even blame them. I blame the fucking brands. You
Yeah,
know, like it's up to
it
them
is
to make
kind of.
sure there's enough different companies and variety of stuff out there to make sure that that doesn't happen. It's their brand to protect, you know,
Yeah.
and the people that are suffering, it would be the customers of fans of those brands, right? Based on the deals that that they allowed to be signed. So, yeah, but it's all money, and it is just
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
all
big
microtransaction card
business.
packs now. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funneled because there's been pretty much one choice per major sports brand or sports league. Yeah, it's pretty much funneled into just massive pay to win, um, money hungry, greedy things. And if there's more games out there that had given us variety with then there would be less. They put some pressure, you know, on them to do
Yeah,
better. But
competition.
is what it is.
Competition would fuel better games. Like, imagine Madden just having a competition with like 2K. EA would be so
Yeah.
scared because EA used to do like the NBA games and they stopped
Mhm.
because they got wrecked with 2K. So it's like if I was EA and then they had 2K coming back with like a sports game, I would be like, "Oh shoot."
Yeah.
Like I would that would be probably the best Madden. Like they would look at a lot more features and stuff like
I
that.
think part of it's got to just come down to how expensive the licenses are. Like,
Yeah.
um, because I don't even think NBA's agreement is exclusive.
Nope, I
I
don't think
think
it is.
NBA just just EA sucked so bad, and they
Yeah.
eventually just lost out. The same with MLB. Uh, and they had exclusivity for first party games, but they still 2K was able to make third party games, and then they ended up
Mhm.
stopping. And I feel like because the sales reward wasn't worth the cost of the licensing, probably on some of those. So again, that goes down to the companies, right? And
Yeah.
maybe they're exclusive deals now, but I know at those times they weren't.
Well, in that
NFL
documentary I
is the
mentioned,
first one that did that big exclusive deal.
Yeah.
yeah, they basically from that documentary they mentioned it was actually 2K's fault a little bit in that scenario where they like Madden was putting it at like $60 or whatever the premium cost was, and Sega wanted to undercut them and be like, "Well, we have a better game. Let's put it for cheaper
Yeah,
so that more people would buy it."
they put it for 20
And
bucks. I remember ESPN NFL
yeah,
2K5. The best
yeah,
football
and
game of
NFL
all
didn't like
time
that.
was 1999.
Yep. So marketing wise, it was cool,
1999.
but apparently that pissed off the NFL. Like, we're not a $20 game. We're
It was fucking
it
stupid. Like
it
it's
is stupid.
man, I could imagine if they both kept going. Um, I thought it was
Yeah.
amazing when they that year when they decided to do that and be competitive. That's what as consumers should want. Companies competing and trying to win over the market, you know. And what we got that
Mhm.
year was what most people consider the best football game ever created and ever made at the best price we've ever had for a AAA like uh major sports release, right? And
Yeah.
that was based on competition. And guess what? The next thing it turns around to do exclusive agreement, EA. Fuck that shit. I blame the NFL
but
for it.
even like EA,
Yeah.
like they stopped doing NFL streets and shit too. Like those were so fun, and then they just stopped doing
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, probably because it's they don't have the exclusive rights on those because those are arcade versions, which other companies can
Yeah,
make arcade versions now. Which supposedly 2K was going to had started development on one, but maybe they canceled it at
For
some point.
football.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning into the show tonight. We can all reminisce about the good old days where we had more options with some of our favorite franchises, but it is what it is. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It was a fun show back on FSP, and we'll have another show on Thursday from 8 p.m. Friday, Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Jasper, thanks for being here tonight. I know you got to go to work soon. Tell everybody
Yep.
where they can find you.
Check it out, Lord Jasper on Twitter. That's where I'm at. And then I'm on shows. I guess I can make Mondays now, and then Fridays. So I should be on Mondays and Fridays now
Cool. Sweet, dude.
for the next 2 weeks.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to that. 3-bit, what about you, sir?
Great show, y'all. Everyone can find me on Blue Sky at i3bits. I am on Pixelated Echoes every Sunday with Fuzzy, and this show. We've been back because me and Mav, I think, took a break around the same time. I had a lot of commercial work that I had to do. Finally, it's starting to die down a bit. So, yeah. Thanks for everybody for jumping on in. Poison, Yobi, Zach, you guys are awesome. Everybody who tuned in, you guys are amazing. You're the reason why we love doing these shows, and yeah, fun conversations. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, 3-bit, and the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere.
As always awesome doing these podcasts with you guys. Glad we got Jasper back. Great to kind of do two podcasts or two podcasts today with you and 3-bit.
Oh, yeah, that was,
and then Pixelated Echoes this past Sunday. Just if you want to hear my rambles and rants, just follow me on pretty much all social media except Facebook, Fuzzy_Belvedere. You'll be able to find me. Friday, look forward to Breakfast at Boom at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. And then Fright Night with Ferocious Feet at 6 p.m. Just if you're into horror movies. And then Xbox Ultimate at 9 p.m. Hope to see everybody in the chat there as well. And then Shop Podcasts and Pixelated Echoes on Sunday. So, yeah, look forward to seeing you guys there in the chat as well. Thanks again.
Appreciate you, Fuzz, and everybody. I'll hopefully see you on Thursday, 5 p.m. to the p.m. And take it easy. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Later.
Wait.